Hello friends, thanks to you, money has been raised for the charging station. I want to thank everyone who responded to my request for help. Guys, I'm grateful to God that I have you, people who constantly support me in these difficult times. It is thanks to your support that I can work and exist. I will definitely make a video report after the station is delivered to me. Once again, thank you all so much for everything you do for me, and with all my heart I wish you health, happiness and peaceful skies above your head.
The 830 days of the war between Russia and Ukraine continues. Russian troops crossed the water channel north of Chasiv Yar and captured most of the village of Kalinivka there. Bild military expert Julian Rupp writes about this. He bases his conclusion on footage from the battlefields. The journalist points out that the Ukrainian armed forces have hundreds of meters of trenches in the canal area, but they do not have enough soldiers, which is why the Russians were able to overcome the obstacles without any resistance on the ground. No Ukrainian troops in the trenches, no small arms fire, no mines, just counterattacks using FPV drones, the journalist writes, and provides the corresponding video. The Ukrainian military telegram channel, Deep State, writes that indeed, the Russians got lost after driving through the canal in Kalinivka near Chasiv Yar. According to them, on the one hand the story is banal, but on the other it is unclear how they got there. The equipment was destroyed. In the video it also drove further into the depths of the positions of the defense forces. We no longer know the exact fate of the enemy infantry. While the main changes concern Chasiv Yar itself, the situation in Kalinivka is still unchanged, wrote Deep State. Also, the Bild newspaper, citing Rupp, writes that Russian troops entered the village of Sokil, west of Avdiivka. According to Julian Rupp, these advances are also related to the shortage of shells among the Ukrainian armed forces. The journalist provides data according to which, since April, about 10,155 millimeter shells from the United States, as well as 12,000 from Germany, have arrived in Ukraine. But now the armed forces of Ukraine are concentrating forces in the Kharkiv region, where they are able to successfully counterattack. This creates a shortage of shells in other sectors of the front, the expert believes. In turn, the Deep State map shows that the gray zone has approached the eastern outskirts of Sokil. The General Staff reported today that the hottest situation in the Avdiivka sector is now in the area of the village of Sokil, where fighting continues in 3 locations. Also, according to data from the Ukrainian side, the enemy north of Netelo V and south of Umansky has partial success. In the Kharkiv direction, intense fighting continues both on the western flank in the area north of Lipsy and on the eastern flank in Vovchansk. Due to the increased onslaught of the Russians, the Ukrainian defense forces are transferring reserve units to the specified area. In addition, thanks to the reserves of the Ukrainian army, it was possible to recapture part of the enemy-occupied territories in Vovchansk. The American Institute for the Study of War concludes that Biden's decision to limit strikes on Russia to the border zone will not force Moscow to abandon its offensive in northern Ukraine. Experts believe the U.S. decision is ambiguous and misses an opportunity to deter further Russian offensive efforts across the border into northern Ukraine. The Russian grouping in this area will continue to grow, the Institute believes, and Russian troops are preparing for inevitable cross-border operations, including outside the Kharkiv region. The Kremlin may decide to launch offensive operations in various border regions of Ukraine, the Institute's report says. And this will require Ukrainian forces to reallocate existing resources to deter or defend against offensive operations, exposing other sectors of the front. Meanwhile, the Russians are advancing on a new section of the front in the Zaporizhia region to the west and east of the village of Nesteryanka. This follows from the map of the military telegram channel Deep State. New enemy offensives are taking place west of the village of Robotyny. The most significant advance is noticeable to the west of Nestyryanka. To the east of the village the advance is insignificant, but on a wider front. Potentially, this movement, if Russia manages to develop it, could be aimed at entering the rear of the troops defending the Robotyny sector, and also towards Orikhiv, a key point of Ukrainian defense on the Zaporizhia front. I note that for several months now the fighting in Zaporizhia has been taking place mainly in the Robotyny and Verbovy areas. Yesterday, a massive enemy missile attack was carried out on the territory of Ukraine. According to the data, 53 missiles of various types were launched, of which 35 were shot down by Ukrainian air defense forces. In addition, 46 of the 47 launched unmanned aerial vehicles were shot down. The attack used air, sea and ground-based cruise missiles, including Caliber missiles, which were used en masse for the first time in a long time. As a result of the attack, energy infrastructure facilities were damaged, including a thermal power plant in the Ivano-Frankivsk region and the Dnipro hydroelectric power station in the Zaporizhia region. The governor of the Zaporizhia region, Fedorov, said that the Dnipro hydroelectric power station is in critical condition after Russian missile attacks. "We're not even talking about generating electricity," he said. Previously, Fedorov stated that travel along the Dnipro hydroelectric dam would be closed for the entire weekend. In addition, explosions were recorded at critical infrastructure facilities in different regions of Ukraine. Thank you very much and see you in the next video.